my dream to win the new title, you know, because I am the last driver also to win the World Cup, you know. This is also something to close and to open the new history. I was from 10 years old and I drive, you know, with my father, you know. He bought for me when I was 12 small Suzuki, and I was driving, rolling, crashing, you know, and I prepare myself, and yeah, it's a nice. I learn a lot for desert, you know.
And he has certainly put that knowledge to good use. Nasser Al-Attiyah is now a 4-time winner of the Dakar. He's also won the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge 3 times, having first discovered the rally almost 30 years ago.
It was amazing, you know, to have a long history of this race, you know, and 94 I finished 4 or 5 overhaul, and it was with the Land Rover car. I make it myself, you know, and this time I don't have also mechanic. I do myself, you know, and change the wheel during the service and just to clean the cars, and second day we are ready, you know. The dunes is not easy for everybody, but I think you need to be brave, you know, and last year we opened every day, and I tried to make a little bit difficult for the other driver, you know, but sometimes it's nice, you know, when you have big dunes and just to climb. It's one of the favorite race, you know, because it's totally different, you know, 100% of sand dune, and this is amazing, you know, how this rally still keep going with the high level, you know. My dream to win again.
Everything is still to play for in the T3s after Chaleco Lopez lost time today. The overall leader was held up by drive shaft problems early on, but he held on to his lead by just over a minute. Cristina Gutierrez finds herself within touching distance of the lead. She came second today in spite of losing a bit of power in the engine, but she knows that it's not going to be easy to overhaul a 3-time Dakar champion.
Chaleco is very fast, so we try to overtake him the next of the days, but Chaleco is very fast also.
Seth Quintero is still very much in the mix as well. The American didn't meet any other crews today, and that meant it wasn't always easy to stay focused. But he still had his best performance of the rally, sweeping to the stage victory. Around a minute and a half separating Lopez and Gutierrez, Quintero is over 10 minutes back in third. In the SSVs, things didn't go to plan today for Rokas Pachuska. A broken drive shaft and a bent rear arm cost the Lithuanian over half an hour. He slips down to third overall. Marek Goksal dropped around 11 minutes to the stage winner, but he still has a solid lead at the top of the overall standings. The Pole is just looking to avoid any mishaps as he closes on overall victory. Austin Jones snatched the win by the narrowest of margins, just 10 seconds. The American's out of contention overall, but he's happy to be clocking up the miles and picking up points in the World Championship.
Pushed a little bit harder today, you know, just because we obviously on the first day had that issue, so we're kind of out, but really still wanted to get here and try to win a stage at least.
Poland currently occupy 3 of the top 4 places overall, even if Małgorzata Golda is a long way back. Well, Case Colan was unchallenged as he took victory in the trucks. Martin Maciek and his crew didn't take the start because they couldn't fix a gearbox, so another win and more World Championship points for the Dutchman. On to stage 4 of the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge. Today's outing is sponsored by Abu Dhabi Aviation and the Yas Marina circuit, which we visited during scrutineering. ADA has a crucial role when it comes to health and safety, providing the medical assistance helicopters that keep a close eye on the riders and drivers. A shade under 250 kilometres to be covered today, with temperatures once again soaring to nearly 40 degrees Celsius and quite a bit of wind to contend with as well. Nacho Cornejo was on course for a top 5 finish until he suffered a late crash. The Chilean broke his roadbook tower, and that meant riding the last 30 kilometres one-handed. He ended up 10th. He's now 10 minutes off the pace.
It just hasn't been my week, you know. A lot of things has happened to me, so we'll try to finish strong tomorrow with a solid stage and try to cheer up a little bit.
Another day, it's over. Yeah.
Well, nothing like a close-up view of the action. The highest placed of the Honda riders is their newest member, Pablo Quintanilla. He set off 5th today and managed to gain some time on the riders ahead of him. It wasn't always easy, pushing in the soft sand, and he spent the whole day solo, but still 3rd place, and he's now just 23 seconds off top spots. Toby Price had his best result of the week in 2nd, and he only missed out on the stage victory by 32 seconds. This was the kind of terrain that suits him, with no big surprises. The Australian will head into the final day in 3rd place overall. Now, Luciano Benavides was agonisingly close to victory on leg 2, narrowly missing out to Ross Branch, but the Argentine got it done today, taking his first ever stage win in Rally Raid.
Finally I won the stage. I'm really happy. I wait many years to have this moment, to win a stage and put my name as a stage winner.
Matthias Falkner did a fine job opening today, but it still cost him over 8 minutes. He's surely too far back now to fight for overall victory. The Austrian just navigating his way through the desert traffic, and his efforts proved invaluable for Sam Sunderland. The British rider caught his old teammate after 85 kilometres and praised him for doing most of the legwork up at the front. Sunderland stays top of the pile, and he'll be setting off after most of his rivals tomorrow. Only 2.5 minutes separating the top 4 with one stage to go. Hero rider Joaquim Rodriguez moves up into the top 5.
I think that's something like 25 of the daily challenges.
So my father did it 3 times. The road with David McBride, so me riding with his son now is following on in the legacy.
It's very much a local team, work hard, play hard kind of attitude. To give a stepping stone for local Baja races, stuff like that, to assist in people to coming to a World Championship event like this.
We're, somewhat regular people compared to these world-class, races. So it's just an amazing experience to race the same route, these guys are racing.
So definitely have an advantage going up here, learning how to ride and drive in the desert long before we could do it legally on the road. It's still very challenging for us. It's definitely a race that is far beyond what I thought it was going to be. So it's a big week ahead.
There was a time today where we all sort of bunched up, and it was great because we sort of took it in turns leading. We missed the waypoint, and me and Oren decided to go back, and we'll, carried on.
I think there's a small bet going around some of the crew to see which one of us wins out of the 3 of us, and there might be a forfeit whoever loses.
And it's really nice that there's nearly a social aspect to it. Makes it a bit more exciting than doing it solo or doing it with one of the big commercial teams here.
Yeah, it'll be something that I always do. I'll always have a passion for. But I think it'd be something that I'll continue forever.
The dream for, I think, all of us, if I could speak on behalf of them, is to do Dakar one day. It makes a lot of sense to build up experience here, and if we can get the right package together, get over to Saudi and make that happen.
Yazid Al-Raji saw his hopes of a podium go up in smoke yesterday because of mechanical issues and a massive penalty. but the Saudi was back on form today, zipping to third place in his overdrive Toyota Hilux.
Yeah, I feel everything going well with us. We enjoy it, that's most important, and they do a great job and everything going well. Unlucky yesterday, but can happen. And look forward and see what's going on tomorrow.
Sebastian Halpern finished 5th here in November, and he's currently 5th again in spite of being over 4 hours down. The Argentine has real pedigree. He just came 8th at the Dakar, and he has a chance to improve his position in the World Rally Raid Championship. Sebastian Loeb is now 4th overall and 2nd among the W2RC drivers. The Frenchman had good pace, but it wasn't quite enough to land the stage victory. 2nd place for the 3rd day in a row. Jakub Brzezinski has had all sorts of ups and downs in Abu Dhabi. He lost time repairing a hydraulic jack yesterday, but the pole has stayed pretty consistent and he finds himself 3rd overall. He's promised to push again tomorrow. Martin Prokop is on course to finish the rally in 2nd. His co-driver Viktor Chitka has some back issues, so the Czech driver didn't overdo it, curbing his WRC instincts to cruise home in 5th. Stefan Petter Hansel insists there are no easy stages at the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge, and given that he has a pretty handy lead overall, he didn't take any risks. No problems with the Audi and no overheating in spite of the soaring temperatures. He's 1 day away from his 8th title. Meanwhile, Nasser Al-Attiyah made it a hat-trick of wins for the Toyota Gazoo racing team. Another 5 W2RC points in the bag. The Qatari is still over 20 hours back though, in 8th place overall.
Everybody on go.
Petter Hansel still over 30 minutes clear of Prokop. Brzezinski has a handsome advantage over Loeb in the fight for the final podium spot. Case Colin remains our lone ranger in the trucks. 5 more points for the Dutchman in the W2RC. He's on course to snatch the overall lead from Martin Matchik. It was another one of those days for Seth Quintero in the lightweight vehicles. The American looked to have hauled himself back into contention yesterday, but with around 90k to go, he lost the rear differential in his OT3. Another hour and 10 minutes down the drain.
We'll see what happens. It's don't have a lot of confidence right now. Just take it day by day, I guess.
Cristina Gutierrez had no issues with her Red Bull today, but she struggled to keep pace with Chaleco. Unless he runs into mechanical trouble tomorrow, she'll probably have to settle for 2nd place. After yesterday's problems, a much smoother day for Lopez and his co-driver Paolo Cecchi, another former biker. They took the stage win by 8 minutes, and they now have a pretty decent cushion heading into the final day. 9 minutes 33 is the gap up at the top. Quintero stays 3rd ahead of Konrad Rautenbach, with Annette Fischer an hour further back in 5th. There's an almighty battle raging for 2nd place in the SSVs. Rokas Pačuskas had to get used to the heat and the big dunes here, but the 22-year-old Lithuanian is a fast learner. A few minutes dropped today, but he remains a whisker ahead of Michal Goksal. The pole is really breathing down Pačuska's neck. There are just 13 seconds separating the two men before tomorrow's final showdown. The younger Goksal was 2nd today, 39 seconds behind his older brother, Marek. Well, the 46-year-old Marek has been on sensational form in Abu Dhabi, winning 3 of the 4 stages. After some near misses and a rather frustrating end to the Dakar, he's on course to bring this one home for the Cobalt Energylandia rally team. Yesterday we had some technical issues, but today it was my kind of stage. Short with twists and turns. A bit straight at the end, but still the kind of stage I love. The top 3 still in a world of their own, with a 7-hour gap back to Małgorzata Golda in 4th. The Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge wouldn't work without its volunteers. Over 150 of them have been helping out this year at the start, the finish and every checkpoint in between. Their priceless contribution keeps the rally rolling on. The sun rising on the final day of the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge. Sam Sunderland with a slender advantage in the bikes. Stefan Petterhansel looking to finish the job in the cars. Stage 5 is sponsored by the Abu Dhabi Sports Council as we move away from the empty quarter and head back to the capital. With over 200 kilometres of dunes to cover, there could still be surprises in store. Pablo Quintanilla was a bit stressed this morning, starting just 23 seconds off the lead. He went for it, as ever, but setting off before Sunderland meant it was going to be tough to gain any significant time. He had to settle for third place in the end, but was still super happy after a demanding rally. Ricky Brabeck also enjoyed himself this week as he returned to Abu Dhabi for the first time in several years. Apart from a small crash on day one, the American stayed out of trouble, and an excellent final run saw him sneak ahead of his teammate Quintanilla into second overall. But no question about the star man in the bikes this year. 2 months after winning the Dakar, Sam Sunderland does it again. Since changing teams, he's really stepped on the gas. The British rider celebrating his third Abu Dhabi title.
Coming off of the Dakar win, it gives you a bit of confidence, but as you saw all week, the times were so close, even until the last moment. I wasn't really sure that I could get it done today, and just gave everything I had, and yeah, really happy.
Everybody on go.
Sunderland winning ahead of two Hondas, Brabeck and Quintanilla, with his former KTM teammates Price and Wagner in 4th and 5th. Abdulaziz Akhli defended his quads title in style, winning all 5 stages, and he said it felt much better than his victory last year. Let's take a closer look at the Emirati and hear about his unusual path into Rally Raid.
Racing with quad, it started a year ago. I was sitting at home scrolling on Instagram and I saw this guy driving a dirt bike. It was written there Dakar. So I googled a little bit what is Dakar, and it turned out it's a rally. I went immediately to my wife and I told her I know what I'll be doing now. She's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'll do the Dakar. She's like, do you even know what's the Dakar? I'm like, yeah, it's a rally. I said I'll start a little bit smaller. I did the Dubai Baja 2021 on a dirt bike, not on a quad. I met some of my friends, they're all quad biker. They saw me on a bike, they're like, what are you doing with the bike? Come on a quad bike, you'll never get result, the competition is too hard. So I said, okay, I'll try quad. And this year actually it's my first year doing track racing, and it's actually I'm doing good results.
Well, some very good results indeed. Azuz beat Rafael Sonic and Manuel Andahar to win last year's Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge before dominating in 2022.
It's a step and it's a training, because the track here, it's actually tougher than some tracks in the Dakar. I'm trying to improve my skills. I don't see it only as a competition. I see it also as a chance to practice, because at the end you don't get a chance every day to drive on these tools. When you come here, you see people from different countries, you meet people from other places, and I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot from the people around me here. The way I see it, life is too short. I want to do one thing in my life, to challenge myself to the maximum. And I couldn't find any better challenge than the Dakar.
A broken wishbone on day one ended his chances of overall victory, but Nasser Al Attiyah bounced back brilliantly, powering to the other 4 stage wins. Well, like Nasser, Sebastian Loeb had 4 good days and 1 bad one. But the 9-time WRC champion still enjoyed testing out his ProDrive Hunter on these dunes and picking up valuable experience for the future. The Frenchman 4th overall. Jakub Brzezinski finished as the leading W2RC driver in 3rd overall, but stressed that this was a tough old rally. The poll reckons the new T1 Plus cars have an advantage over the buggies when it comes to pure pace. A brilliant effort from Martin Prokop to come 2nd. The Czech driver has been competing in his test car this week, but he still finished ahead of Brzezinski, Loeb, Alatia and Yazid Al-Rajhi. He couldn't quite snaffle a 2nd Abu Dhabi title, but he will be very happy with this performance. But in all honesty, there only looked like being one winner. Stefan Petter Hansel taking his 8th crown here. Forget Mr Dakar, he's Mr Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge. The French legend also becomes the first man to win a rally in a car with an electric drivetrain on a big day for Audi.
This year is really special, you know, I'm really proud to be the first team winner with an electric car. It's really a new generation of car, a new page of the book of Rally Red, and I'm really happy to open this new page. This is a victory with a really good car, but with a lot of experience also.
Everybody on go.
Petter Hansel bringing his prototype RSQ e-tron home in 1st place. Alatia just about sneaking into the top 5 overall. It was a stressful day for Kees Kolen, especially when he got stuck in the dunes for 20 minutes, but the Dutchman took victory in the trucks, snatching the World Championship lead from Martin Matchik. An ideal result as he prepares to go electric next year. Seth Quintero said it was a rough week, and he certainly wasn't spared by mechanical gremlins, running into trouble on 3 days out of 5. The American loves the dunes, but this simply wasn't his week. He finished 3rd overall. Cristina Gutierrez really pushed today as she tried to make up the 10-minute gap to Chaleco Lopez. She got the stage win, but had to settle for 2nd overall. The Spaniard will now think about defending her title in Andalusia. Apart from a slight wobble on stage 3, Chaleco was untouchable. The Chilean picking up where he left off at the Dakar and taking victory. It's been a nice return to Abu Dhabi almost a decade after he first visited on 2 wheels. It's been a long time since I came on this rally on a bike, 10 years ago. This year I was here with Paolo Cecchi. We felt great in the car. It's a big step towards next year's Dakar. Lopez winning by a shade over 8 minutes from the Red Bull pair of Gutierrez and Quintero. Annette Fischer rounded out the top 5. Austin Jones didn't quite get the result he was hoping for in the SSVs, coming 5th, but he finished on a high note with the Stage 5 victory. For Mikhail Goksal, on the other hand, this final outing was a killer. The pole began the day within 13 seconds of 2nd place overall, but major mechanical issues sent him tumbling down the standings. That meant Rokas Baciuska had a much more comfortable run than he might have expected on his way to the runners-up spot. The Lithuanian is definitely a man to keep an eye on in the coming months and years. Victory went to Marek Goksal, who's led from start to finish. Mikhail's big brother gave himself an early fright jumping over one dune, but he kept on pushing, powering his way to a well-deserved triumph. I'm very happy that we managed to get the win. I'm a bit sad for my brother, who's still fighting out on the stage. He had a good chance to get 2nd place. My dream is still to stand on the podium with all my family. Marek Goksal taking it from Baciuska by over 20 minutes. His brother's woes meant that another Pole, Małgorzata Golda, ended up on the podium. And so we reached the end of round 2 in the World Rally Raid Championship. Another 25 points for Sunderland in the bikes.
just trying to take each day and each race as it comes and do my best. You know, it's a long championship and so many things can happen in our sport, so just need to try and stay calm and keep doing my best.
Sunderland and Mason Kleiner dominating. Dakar winner Alexandre Giroux is still setting the pace in the quads. Meanwhile, Sebastian Loeb is the new leader in the cars.
We were 1 point behind when we came, now we are one point ahead, so it's going in a good way.
Chaleco, Jones and Colin also on top. After a gruelling week, the winners of the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge gathered at Yas Marina Circuit to celebrate their achievements. It has been another sensational edition of one of the world's toughest rallies. Thanks very much for joining us, and do tune in again in 2023.